Folks, welcome to Sticks-n-Stones. I am your host, Brent Elrod. Uh, got a great show lined up for you today. Still jerking around with some technology stuff. It is, shit. Uh, well, I was hoping to get to watch a ball game while I'm doing this, but you guys want me to sign back into Hulu? I don't think so. Anyway, I got a great show for you today. Technology stuff irritates the snot out of me, if you know me. So, anyway, my pairing today is very special. I've been wanting one of these bottles for so long. I've actually stumbled upon three different bottles here in the last 4 or 5 days that I have managed to pick up. That's crooked. Maybe my head's crooked. I think that's more of what it is. And this is one of them. I'm going to be pairing today Willett Straight Rye with an Oliva Serie V, not the Milano, straight Serie V. I think it is going to be a wonderful pairing that I think you're all going to love. Let's give you a little bit of information about the Willett. This is from Willett Family Estate in Bardstown, Kentucky. This is a straight rye whiskey, rare release. The mash bill is undisclosed, but it's high rye. Typically somewhere around 74% rye, 11% corn. Just add a little bit of sweetness to it, and 15% malted barley. The proof, it kind of varies. This particular bottle is 53.8% alcohol by volume, so 107.6 proof, but it can kind of vary at barrel strength between 110 and 115. This is aged in hand-selected white oak barrels for 4 years. So I'm really looking forward to that. Let's go ahead and glass some up. We're going to get right into it. I've been looking at my statistics. That's not good. We're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. Wow. Hey, I improv'd. Got that one out with my teeth. So, didn't like that. But, hey, at least it was a cork. So, go ahead and glass a little bit of this up. Gently put the cork back in so I can take it back out. I got a spare cork on my desk. So as you can see, and there's a little bit of sun shining through today. So we're actually getting a really good view of the color in this glass. It is just a beautiful kind of deep golden amber with maybe some copper highlights in there. The nose, honestly, to be 107.6 proof, that has a very engaging nose to it. It's not fraught with alcohol burn. It's a very good nose. I really like that. It does have this kind of bold rye spice up front. I pick up some notes of like cracked black pepper, like fresh ground black pepper, cinnamon, maybe something along the lines of eucalyptus. And kind of beneath all that spiciness is like some caramelized brown sugar and some oak, maybe just a faint hint of mint. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And to be 107 proof, it doesn't smack you in the nose with alcohol burn right away. It's a rye, so it is spicy, but you don't get that just absolute burn as soon as you put as soon as the sip hits your palate. Put it that way. It is warm and assertive. It's got some really, really great layers of like toffee and then rye grain, some vanilla. There's some hints of like citrus or citrus peel in there, and all that is kind of laying over the top of kind of a toasted oak. As you get farther back on the palate towards the mid palate, you pick up some uh, maybe some a little bit of a peppercorn bite to it, and then there's just this long dry finish. It just kind of fades away. It's really good. Hmm. And on that, in that finish, you're getting that lingering spiciness. You're getting some charred oak. There's a little bit of kind of a subtle honey on the back of your tongue, uh, and then that sweetness kind of fades down into a little bit of a kind of a crisp herbally note. It's really good, and uh, if it was if it wasn't so hard to find this, he'd put the cap back with a cork back on it. It popped out. Uh, I should have tried this years ago, but it is hard to find. I just happened to stumble upon two bottles at at a package store. I happened to go into bourbon hunting. I'd never been there before. That was like a grown fella's Chuck E. Cheese. Oh my goodness! They had Maker's Mark in 750s and 1.75s. They had cases of them stacked higher than I could reach, and I can reach about 8 or 8.5 feet. I got long arms, and I'm anywhere from 6'1" to 6'6", depending on which convenience store I'm walking out of. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I even posted a picture of it. It was a good 9 feet high, just cases, and it stair step down. And they had a whole bunch of the cases with bottles just individually sitting out, all stacked up. They had Jameson right beside it. There was another stack. It wasn't quite that high. It was more like my head high, roughly. It was just stacks of Buffalo Trace in 750s and 1.75s. And then I got to looking around, and they had E.H. Taylor just sitting on the shelf, not allocated anymore, and they had two bottles of Willett sitting on the shelf. I grabbed one of them and kept it in my arms the whole time. I'm like, I'm not putting this down. Nobody's getting this. I'm taking this out of here. Uh, yeah. So um, overall, it is unapologetically bold. It is. It's peppery. It's got energy. It's got oak structure. Uh, and it really will demand a cigar that has enough backbone to match it, yet enough finesse to compete with it, or to not compete with it, I should say. And I think that cigar is going to be the Oliva Serie V. This is the origin is Nicaragua. The uh, the filler is aged Nicaraguan Jalapa Ligueros. The binder is Nicaraguan, and the wrapper is an Ecuadorian Habano sun grown. Hang on, sorry, I got to talking and forgot to make sure that I could see myself on X, and there I am. All right, we're good to go now. Hang on, sorry, I little feedback there. I sound really country. I need to work on that. I need to sound, I don't, less accent. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not very good with that stuff. All right. It is a medium to full body. It's a firmly packed stick. It has a little bit of an oil sheen on the outside, kind of a medium to medium dark chocolate color. Uh, Minimal veining, and the veining that is there is not pronounced. There are not any just, well, maybe that one. That one there on the back side could probably be considered pronounced, but just a very well constructed stick. The seams are tight and barely visible. It has a very large triple cap on it. So there you go. Now, on the nose, I get some really nice notes of earth and sweet hay. Um, there's a little bit of a light spice to it. It's a fairly simple aroma, but it's very pleasing. At least I'm not using really. It's really all right. Let's go ahead and give it a cut. I am using the Cassetti multi cutter on a V cut. Love this cutter. My wife picked it up for me when we were down in Little Havana perusing the cigar factories down there, the little shops where they roll them for you right there, right off the street on the cold draw. It's a very middle of the road draw. It's easy, but it's not too easy. But you also don't have to. You also don't get a lot of resistance. You just get a little bit. That's really good. I get some some sweet cedar. Excuse me. A little bit of cocoa powder, maybe some hints of espresso, and maybe something along the lines of like dried, raisins, uh, something like that. Again, fairly simple, but nice and elegant. Mosquito. All right, let's go ahead and light it up. I really do like this cigar. I have the last half of a box. Uh, I've paired it a couple of times, and I really do like it. As I said in the beginning, this is not the Melanio, but it is still very good nonetheless. Um, on the light, I get some notes of espresso and a little bit of cocoa. There's maybe a touch of white pepper in there. Um, it's got some really silky smoke, and there is plenty of it. Um, it's nice and velvety, and an burn line off of the light. Of course, as I say most of the time, that's probably me. I have enjoyed bringing having a single torch out here too to kind of touch things up. Makes it a little easier, and I can really pinpoint where I'm wanting to add a little extra flame to, just to see if it's a problem with the leaf and burning, or if it's my lighting. Usually, it's my lighting. On the retro, I get a little bit of pepper. I also get some notes of leather in there as well, and maybe just a hint of maybe just a little bit of a herbally or fruity kind of note. Not any. It's just barely there. Uh, you almost can't pick it up. All right, there's a fly around my Coke. My I'm from the South. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's carbonated, it's a Coke. My Dr Pepper zero sugar. I have to wave that thing away. So we're still just a little bit kind of angled, but I'll keep watching it as I go. It's not a really big deal unless you have a cigar that starts like canoeing, where you've got more ash sticking out up here and ash is falling away down here, and it kind of creates a little, looks kind of like that. Um, Something like that. Then that starts interfering. If the burn line is just kind of wavy all the way around, that's not a big deal. It's natural. It's a natural product. It's not going to be completely straight. So let's go ahead and try them together. We're at 15 minutes and we're already trying them together. Doing good today. Got smoke up under one of the lenses. That was weird. Let me try this again. The uh, the cigars kind of creamy espresso and cedar notes, kind of mellow the Willett's initial pepper hit, and kind of it sort of rounds off the whiskey's edges and allows that subtle vanilla and kind of orange peel notes to kind of emerge a little further. It does go really well together. Uh, Rye is not for everybody. I can say that. Uh, I like rye. I'm not crazy about rye, but I do like it, and I do like it in certain situations. Most most Manhattans start with rye. We were at our wedding anniversary dinner the other night, a couple of weeks ago, at Bob's Steak and Chop House, and I ordered a rye, or ordered a Manhattan, and it came with rye. But he was like, "Would you like me to use anything else?" And so I had him make it with Knobs Creek. So uh, when you switch from rye to bourbon, it's a little sweeter because the rye is spicy and the bourbon has more sweeter notes. So this is a really well constructed cigar. I'm going to touch it up again, but we're already starting to see some really nice stacks of white ash emerge there. I do now. I say every week. I always use my Rocky Patel Envoy lighter, which is five flames. It's a five torch. It's like a blowtorch. Uh, Not that you're going to be able to see it, but it it really does a great job. You don't have to spend nearly as much time, warming the cigar up. But I always like to try and keep a single flame around. I have a cigarism little single torch lighter that it's smaller than my cutter, but looks a lot like that. And it's just a one flame. I got this little disposable jobby to keep out here on the No Shoes Bar and Grill patio, so that I don't have to worry about it being in the weather or whatever. Because I always forget something. I always have to run back in and get something. I had to leave people on live one day so I could run back in and get something. Crazy. We're doing good. Doing good. Man, got a good pairing going. Got people watching. Sun's out. The only thing I don't have working is college football, which really pisses me off. It's a great week in college football. Uh, we uh, we here at in the Aggie Nation got a big game coming tonight. Excuse me. Uh, we we're doing we're we're in Death Valley, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, against LSU at night. It is going to be a tough game. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about LSU, all right, but this has not been a stellar year for them. They know it. Uh, I said this to my wife earlier today. I'm like, their coach Brian Kelly. I'm like, he's not on the hot seat. That chair's on fire. He is at the point where if he loses this game to A&M, he may well just go ahead and pack up his office because I think he'll be done. They'll come up with that $50 million they have to pay him to get him out of the contract. And I know because we paid $76 million to get rid of Jimbo Fisher. So trust me, those boosters will find the money somewhere. Uh, but we are still undefeated, which I am. Y'all may be able to see this stuff, but I'm trying to get this stuff going here. I hate it when things don't work. Um, and we ended up with Mike Elko. This is his second year, and last year this is his first year. Now he only got the job like 4 months roughly before the season started, and people were already calling for him to be fired before the end of the season. And I kept telling people, I'm like, look, this guy came in. Uh, this guy came in. He he had players from the previous coach that were leaving because that was the coach that they signed under, and that that's who they wanted to play for. Um, and they're afraid that they may not get. Uh, there we go. Now we're cooking. All right. Uh, and they're afraid that they may not, get the playing time, that kind of thing that that they want under a new coach, new regime. He's got a different way of doing things. And then you have people that came from Mike Elko's school, Duke, and then you have, players that they sign. Maybe they were going to go somewhere else, but they're like, no, I'll come play for him. So, you kind of have all this stuff up in the air. So, you did kind of start the year a little shaky. Um, but this year, I hadn't heard a peep. All those people last year, like he should be burned at the stake. They got their mouths shut this year. We're 7-0. Yeah. But if y'all had your way, he'd have been fired last year. And where would we be this year? Same place we were last year with a different guy. I understand college football has a very, they have a very short window to be successful, or coaches have to start walking. But that window keeps getting shorter and shorter because fans, if they get a new coach in June, they're expecting by January they're going to have a national championship. Doesn't happen that fast. It doesn't. I will say it could happen next year with another SEC team if a bunch of players don't leave. Bill Napier got fired, and but he actually has a great, a really great offense. Got a good offensive line, good quarterback, couple of good running backs, couple of good receivers. Just can't win games, and so there's got to be something else wrong. If you got the talent, and they got a good defense. It's not like their defense sucks and they can score 42 points a game, but they're giving up 49 points a game. It's not like that. So you could have a big name coach come in there over the summer, and it's possible if you get the right coach. He could make a run into the playoffs next year. It's always possible. That is really, really. a great rye. Um, you may have saw, if you didn't, you can go back on my profile and look on X. I posted last night. I was pouring a little another rye that I picked up it came in my email, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of expensive, but I've been watching for that bottle for a long time. Uh, and that is a Midwinter Night's Dram from Yellowstone Distillery. This is Act 13. Uh, um, and but I've been looking for I think every year it's a different act. So you got Act 11, Act 12, Act 13. Uh, and I'm like, oh, it's there. I gotta have it. I gotta have it because it's a limited release. And so I got it, and I was taking a wee dram of it last night because it was storming and all that. And you're like, hey, even though it's not winter, it's good for a midwinter night's dram. It is definitely, it's even bolder, I think, than this Willett. I mean, it's a pretty stout rye. This is very, even though it's got some of the spicier notes to it. It is a pretty elegant spirit. It is, even at 107.5 proof. Indiana looks like they're going to end up going 8-0 because they're up uh, 3 touchdowns, 21-0. Oh, I'm sorry, 34-3, and we're still 13 seconds before halftime. Unless the wheels come off in the third quarter, I think they're going to win. Oh wow, Georgia Tech is also undefeated. They're 7-0. They're playing Syracuse as 3-4, and it's been a tough game for them. Well, they're up 17-3 now. It's in it's at halftime, uh, but game's not over yet. It's a whole lot different than what I say. The other one was 21-3, 24-3, or something like that. Nice, nice stacks of white ash. I would call the burn line straight. I haven't touched it up in several minutes. Looking good. I really do love this Oliva Serie V. It's a little more economical than the Melanio, but you're getting some of the same flavors and everything. Um, so it's kind of a budget man's Melanio. Yeah, and this is the Toro Gordo, whatever you want to call it, the 6x60, 6 inches long, 60 on the ring gauge. So you got a nice amount of time that you're going to be puffing on this cigar. So little something else here. Man, yeah, I do. I really love this cigar. And this is depending on what cigar shop you're in, it's somewhere between $10 and $15 sticks. So say around $12. You get a box of 10. You might be able to stumble upon a box of 10s on sale, and pick it up for less than $10 a stick. I think that's what I did on this one. I've had it a while. I've got it's a box of 10, and I think I've got 4 left now. So I just got halfway through it with this cigar, and I've had it for a while. For those of you that just joined, I'll kind of go back and kind of tell you a little bit about what we got going on here. We are pairing the Willett Straight Rye. That is the Willett family estates in Bardstown, Kentucky. This particular bottle, the proof varies. It's barrel strength somewhere between 110 and 115 generally. This one is 107.6. I think I had that right. Had that right? I have to try and remember. Yeah, somewhere between 110. It's usually somewhere between 110 and 115. This is bottled at cask strength, but it's 107.6, and it's aged 4 years. It is a straight rye, undisclosed mash bill, but typically that means somewhere around 74% rye, 11% corn, which adds just a touch of sweetness, kind of kind of shades the spice just a little, and then 15% or so malted barley. So you got this really beautiful kind of medium amber color with some hints of copper in it. Sun's gone behind a cloud, so you can't pick it up quite as brilliantly as you could before. Um, you get you get some nice notes of uh, black pepper, like fresh cracked black pepper, and cinnamon, and a little bit of like eucalyptus kind of thing going on. And then kind of underneath that, you have some like caramelized brown sugar and some oak, and maybe just a little faint hint of mint there wafting in the background. It's got some really great warm and aggressive layers of toffee and rye grain and vanilla and citrus peel, and kind of all that is supported underneath by some toasted oak. It's got a really nice, long and dry finish with spice and charred oak, a little bit of a honey sweetness there on the very back of your palate. And then it kind of fades into some kind of herbally notes. So, and like a lot of ryes, it is unapologetically bold. It is a bold spirit, but it does have some nice soft edges to it too. Uh, that uh, love seeing when they list the SEC and they got Texas A&M at the top. Uh, the Oliva Serie V, it's manufactured in Nicaragua. It's got Nicaraguan jalapa ligueros and the filler, Nicaraguan binder, and a Ecuadorian Habano sun-grown wrapper. Um, you got on the uh, on the nose, you got some really nice notes of earth and sweet hay and a little bit of light spice in there. The cold draw had like sweet cedar and maybe a little bit of cocoa, and then just a hint of espresso in there and that. And then on the light, we had espresso, cocoa, white pepper, really great. Um, and then when you put the two together, um, you've got kind of the creamy uh, espresso and cedar notes of the cigar that kind of mellow that initial pepper slap that you get from the Willett, and it does kind of take a little bit of the edges off and allow the vanilla and the citrus or orange peel to kind of shine through. So now you're all caught up. Is that a good summary? I think we're nearing the halfway point. Only in at 33 minutes. I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm doing really good. We're still stacking up the white ash. I love that, and it's a very solid pack. Uh, Even though I would be tempted to tap it right now, sometimes you just got to tap the ash. Um, I'm gonna keep it going and just see how it does. It's a very well constructed stick, very well constructed. Olive, they make some really great sticks. I've never gotten this Google cell phone, the Google Pixel 10. They have this commercial out there, and they have people that are using ice cream cones as cell phones, vanilla ice cream cones, like from Dairy Queen with the swirl ice cream on top. And I'm like, I don't understand the ice cream cone reference. Did they just somebody just come up? Well, let's just make it an ice cream cone. Why not a brick? Or what was the point of the ice cream cone? And they don't tell you. These two do go really well together. Uh, so far, I'm sure this is going to be my recommendation at the end. Uh, while the Oliva Serie V does kind of round the edges on the Willett, this is really not for the first timers. This is not for the rookies. Uh, uh, Generally, I would say that rye needs to be reserved for once you have some experience. You know, you don't want to go and try a bourbon at a bar and go, "Oh yeah, yeah, I like that. Well, let me try some rye." No, if that's your first time, don't do that. You need to get a little bit of experience. Kind of work your way up. Start with the like 80 and 90 proof bourbons that are a little sweeter. Kind of work your way up, and then get into the 90s to 100, and then hit over into the triple digits. Kind of working your way up, and then go, okay, now I want to try some rye. I don't mean all in one sitting either. I mean take some time. You know, I don't typically. I mean, generally Monday through Thursday, I don't have anything to drink. Uh, if there's some sort of special occasion, I might have something to drink on that day. Uh, but I'll have a drink like I had the Midwinter Nights Dram last night, and then I'm having this today. And college football's on, so I'll probably be drinking some beers and stuff today. I'm watching A&M tonight on prime time against LSU. Hopefully a victory. I've been telling everybody on all the Aggie social media stuff. We cannot take for granted anything. We cannot be thinking about SEC championship. We cannot be thinking about playoffs. We have to be thinking about this game. We have to win this game. If you win this game, if you don't win this game, that puts more pressure on you for the last four. Now, granted, there's a kind of a give me in there, but 4 of the 5 are SEC games, and and the 4 SEC games, 3 of them are on the road. So we definitely cannot be looking ahead. We have to be looking at this game. Uh, and after we win this game, then we need to be thinking about the next game. We've already passed the mark of being bowl eligible. Uh, that's generally the first step with a new coach. First thing you want your team to make is being bowl eligible. Then you start working a little farther along uh, the timeline there to get yourself into your conference championships, and then maybe even get into the playoffs, that kind of thing. You don't want to just start thinking from the very first out, oh, yeah, we got to get to the playoffs. We got to win a natty. No, small steps. And I don't like being number 3 in the country either. People have been talking about us. I don't like that. I don't want people talking about us. The more they talk about us, the more the players hear it, see it, and they get unfocused. I mean, LSU is not the team of, these teams of the last, 10, 20 years where they have been very, they have been tough to beat. They've been right there in the national championship talk. Um, and but that's not the team this year. Brian Kelly is under a lot of pressure. He's lost a couple of games, and he knows he's close to getting fired. So even though they may not be the team of teams past, they're still good. And he is in a position where he's got to win some games, and this is one of them. So you've got a coach that is feeling the pressure. You've got us playing in his house at night, which is supposed to be the worst time for the opposing team to be playing in Death Valley, and it's going to be raining. So that's probably going to orient things a little more run as opposed to pass. So, and our RB1 is sidelined with an undisclosed ankle ailment with no timeline, several weeks. This is the same running back that was out all last year with a broken leg. So, but Owens, his backup, now RB1, he's been doing a good job. After that, we've got like 3 or 4 running backs, including Emmitt Smith's son, EJ, that they're kind of RB2 by committee. I don't think there's really, like one head and shoulders above the other. So I would really like to see Ole Miss drop this one to Oklahoma, but I don't think it's going to happen. There it went. Right there. Hey, you're getting live action news footage. I can never get one that will go the entire smoke without dropping. So so I'm gonna try and get it into the ashtray without too much spilling go in my lap. It just went on the table. There. All right. I know. It's the way it is. So when I picked up this Willett, I also got a bottle that I hadn't heard called Bushdown. 7-year. They call it. Similar to Blanton's in this respect. The has a pewter golf ball on top of it on this particular one. But supposedly, all the different variations have different stoppers. So it's I see all the Blantons. The little horse and jockey on it is different from one bottle to the next. And they actually, I believe, do sell a wooden thing that you can put your stuff. You empty a bottle, and you can collect all of them. I don't. I'm any money, so I don't have that kind of scratch. I have one bottle of Blanton's. I want more, but I don't have. About the halfway mark, somewhere right in there. As we've gone along, the strength on the cigar is kind of built a little bit. Some leather and some toasted oak, and there's a little bit of baking spice in there. Still marrying very well, the edges off of the Willett Straight Rye. A little more of the vanilla to kind of show through. Burn line on the cigar. It's still wavy, but it's generally big, huge dips in it anywhere. That's normally, for me, an indication that there's something wrong with the cigar. In it. But it's a natural product. So to me, that's burn, not really razor straight, but straight, And it's in Oklahoma had gotten the ball first, and they already went 3 and out. Now we're a minute and a half in, and Actually, Ole Miss just went 3, and they're about to have to go up 2. That was almost a safety. And they're going to have to kick it too. Wait a minute. Lane Kiffin looked like he was showing keep them on the field.
Go for it.
Yeah. Penalty against, from the coach's reaction, I say it is it's going to take him out to the 21-yard line. Now it's 3rd and 5. What the penalty was. So, don't you like being able to get the updates and stuff while we're going? I'm here for you. And I'm telling you. If you like the Oliva Serie V Melanio, but you know kind of struggle with, do I really need to pay Melanio prices for a cigar, because it's very well, trust me. But sometimes the Serie V is a substitute. I think it's 4th down now. Yep. It is a very, very good cigar. Oh. Yeah. He kind of got his leg wrapped up too. Oh, they turned it over. Out. It said 3rd and 5. That's bad. That was a great pass. Dude should have had it. It came right to him.
Another
Oklahoma. Receiver downfield. Good Lord. And I kind of think I don't always agree with this ineligible receiver downfield stuff, because dude was blocking somebody
back.
That Willett is going to stay on my shelf.
It's a very.
It is. It's bold. It's assertive. Good. As we've got farther in, starting to see some waves. At this point, I'm already over halfway through the cigar. So, kind of getting the we had in the first half. It's kind of starting to get a little richer as we're going through, and we're doing good. I don't know that I'm gonna make it to the finish in the next 10 minutes. I have to go ahead and, break it off because I don't want to. Matter of fact, I don't think on Rumble I can go past minutes. There's all kinds of little stuff that you have to contend with when it's like this. Now, I guess Joe Rogan is live streaming. I don't know, but he'll go some to 3. But I don't have 50 million followers. You bring
a million followers
for them, you can pretty much do whatever you want. All right, well, Oklahoma got a field goal out of it, so they got 3 points. Down by 9. 11 minutes gone in the third quarter. There's plenty of time. Now, I'm not an Oklahoma fan. I would like to see Ole Miss lose. I'm not an Ole Miss hater, just in the scenario that we have going on right now. I would like to see Ole Miss lose. Oklahoma's regular pushes Ole Miss. They're number 8. That would push them farther down the list from us. So, Starbucks commercial. Hey, if y'all are Starbucks people,
I'd
go to Starbucks. I had a coffee house. I owned my own coffee house for a year or two.
almost 20.
6 months after I opened, Starbucks opened a place across the street with
I couldn't
afford it. Quarter of a mile or so down, maybe a half a mile down north was a freestanding Starbucks with a drive-through, and it was in the parking lot of the Galleria Mall in Memphis. And inside, about 3/4 of a mile the other way, there was a strip mall, no drive-through, right out near the street in front of a Kroger, and then there was the Kroger Starbucks inside. But they opened one directly across the street from me, and 6 months after I closed, they closed that, moved out. They did that to every locally owned coffee house in Memphis. They would stack
Starbucks,
squeeze you out of business, and people go and I even before I opened mine, I would
kind of doing.
Everybody was like, "No, I don't like the coffee. It's burnt or it's bitter or whatever."
But
everybody wants to be seen with that little white cup with that green lady on it. I don't know that Dunkin's much better, but I like Dunkin' stuff better.
I do go.
And Dunkin' can hold their own against Starbucks. That's all I got to say about that. I'm getting close to
Got about
6.5 minutes, and I don't want to go over 60. So I know y'all have stuff to do on a Saturday, but I can tell you that I
moved a lot.
I told you the espresso has kind of gotten a richer espresso, and now there's some
Instant.
kind of got some dark chocolate that is kind of come in there, going to replace the cocoa is now more like dark chocolate.
So you're
kind of peppery sweet finish, and then mixing it with the rye. I think has just done a very good job.
both
Have and intensified as we've gotten farther. The Willett's kind of warming spice and that lingering oak has complemented the cigar's espresso,
and
in musical terms, crescendo. Yeah, I did take fine art in college terms. And it finishes very long and very balanced. That's what you're looking for.
you want some
I fit together really well. You get this kind of sweet and smoky echo that kind of lingers on your palate. This pairing is really kind of almost like a conversation between discipline and indulgence. The Willett Straight Rye, assertive spice and oak backbone, they really do kind of find a worthy debating partner. Oliva richness. The cigar softens the rye's sharpness around the edges, while the kind of elevates the cigar's sweetness and depth. If you enjoy a pairing that kind of likes the line bold and refined, I think this is a great match for you. I think you'd really love it. I do. This pairing, as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you, please hit like, subscribe, share, notify, ring all the bells. Share the shiznit out of it. That's how I grow. I really appreciate the growth. On X, I now qualify for subscriptions for $1. $1. One. And what I provide to my subscribers is a condensed kind of pairing of my pairing, so that you don't have all the, like I post everything in the video and you're going to all of it. If you're a subscriber, you get a synopsis that just gives you the basics. This is what you need to know. That helps you decide, do I want to try this? Do I want to try these together? Maybe I want the spirit and don't want the cigar, vice versa. So what my subscribers get. Go to X and subscribe today. I would have greatly appreciate it. Keeps me growing. Go to the store where you can get some great either Sticks-n-Stonez gear merchandise with Sticks-n-Stonez on the back, or veteran or a patriot, or have a veteran in your life. I have this great shirt, best-selling shirt. It's got a desert camoed soldier on the back with his M4, and it's got the and the Lord said, "Who shall I send, and who shall go for us?" And then underneath, "Here, my Lord, send me." Comes in all kinds of colors, men and women, loads of sizes. You can fit just about anybody. Go to the Amazon store. I post the link to that T-shirt on my bio, posting it pretty consistently in various replies to things. So go check that out. But you get to keep your sticks dry, stones cold. Have a great day.